It's the book of Isaiah chapter 32, starting at verse 5, but I'm going to read, starting at verse 6, but the point is verse 7. And it reads, for fools, I'm reading the NLT, for fools speak foolishness and make evil plans. They practice ungodliness and spread false teachings about the Lord. They deprive the hungry of food and give no water to the thirsty. They say in the scriptures say that the fool believeth that there is no God, which Esau Edom will tell you again. Constantly the thought of what Noah Yuval Harari made the statement about we don't need the God of the Bible. It says, verse 7, the smooth tricks of scoundrels are evil. They plot crooked schemes. They lie to convict the poor, even when the cause of the poor is just. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to Call Haloyim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elders and to my apostles, the ones that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and Aquath out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, which appear like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's the brother Yahweh coming at you another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh. Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh meaning he is, he exists, or he to be. Hashem, Baz, in, Haz, Hashem, his name. Yahushai meaning he saves, or he deliverer. True names of the Most High God and his Son, who these people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh. Hashem Yahushai. This lesson is inspired by I've been coming across this. It's not even an article, it's a video, but just showing you the mindset of these devils that's in rulership. The scriptures tell you that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Malachi chapter 1 tells you that Esau Edom is the border of wickedness. So it's a particular people that are considered the wicked on the earth. You got wicked individuals of the nation of Israel as well as the heathens, but you got a nation or a group of people that's considered the wicked that the Bible speaks of. So without further ado, and they always, I mean, like I said, the harder things get, the harder that they gonna put hell on you. You know, again, they say, everything's going up instead of, your paychecks. You have to actually like be in a mindset of being grateful to even have any kind of job or income coming in, and another thing I noticed is a spirit out here where everybody's just conniving, everybody's looking to get over on the next person, and the Lord's not pleased with that. The Lord's going to, of course, take care of his hopeful elect, but we're going to be tried as well. Thinking of the thought of Brother saying that, the thing is, when all these things taking place, we're going to be in the midst of it, and that's when our faith has to shine the brightest. So without further ado, I'm going to play this copyright disclaimer and then play the video.
Want to break into cybersecurity but don't have experience? The Google Cybersecurity Certificate uses real...
Says fair use, copyright disclaimer. Says copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 is an allowance made for fair use for purposes such as teaching, criticism, but fair use, scholarship, research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So let me play the video. I'm not going to play this whole thing because time doesn't permit.
Last week, the Department of Justice released a controversial memo. It authorizes states to send Americans with disabilities to institutions, nursing homes, psych wards, segregated schools, rather than funding the community-based services that allow them to remain at home. This would undo...
People say that's far-fetched. They wouldn't believe it. Well, who cares what the average Babylonian believes? Because again, the average Babylonian can't even see what's being manifested right before their eyes. The man literally cut a whole bunch of funding. DJT, Nero, DJT in the reincarnation, Nero in the past life. Because this man is very cruel. I constantly think about that White House event that he held. Where you had these big billionaires coming to attend, while the average Babylonian, wasn't, the average Babylonian wasn't even occupied with it because they struggling to make rent or whatever the case may be. But these people up here got the time to actually host an event on the White House lawn. You can't make this shit up.
Decades of community integration reforms, including longtime Supreme Court precedent that was designed to allow those with disabilities to live independent, productive lives. This week, we learned that White House Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller was behind that memo, according to Bloomberg Law, who spoke to people who were briefed. And while spokespeople for both the White House and the DOJ denied that Miller played a role in the memo, this attempt to remove folks with disabilities from their communities tracks with his exclusionary vision for this country. Miller is infamously obsessed with demographics, crowing just today about deporting Haitian migrants and refugees. Under his watch, DHS has produced a trove of state propaganda, which experts say promotes white nationalist slogans and iconography. He is also, of course, the architect of Trump's draconian immigration policies. And as the New York Times reports, during a private meeting during the last presidential campaign, Trump reportedly told staff that Miller wants to deport more than 2/3 of this country's population, leaving behind only those who look like him.
No, that's just, that's self-explanatory. That's cut and dry. That's, a huge receipt at the end of the day. So, the scriptures talk about, this man being the devil. The Bible speaks of. But he says other things as well. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 10, and beginning at verse 1, and it reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Who is in a position to pass these different laws and legislation? I believe it's Psalms 94 talks about that make iniquity with a law, roughly paraphrase, to turn aside the needy from judgment. Who are the needy? So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, God's true chosen people. And to take away the right from the poor of my people, that may be their prey. So like that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. The Israelite home tends to be, broken up, When you go into the history of these different supplemental plans, the welfare and assistance, the HUD, and these different things, a man couldn't be in the household, So, that was a way for them to actually break up the nucleus of the home right then and there, because they know women make foolish decisions. That's why, a woman will spend rent money on shopping. You got individuals that can attest to that. And then wonder why the man ain't with him. Hey, bitch, we done just literally killed myself to get this rent money, and then doing a Peggy Bundy. Yeah, it was Psalms 94 and 20. "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law?" So and who is iniquity is sin upon sin, and who is in position to pass laws. And again, look at the laws of the scriptures, and then the laws that this devil passes and breaks laws daily. He's breaking laws and making new laws, and most of these laws is unrighteous. This is an unrighteous law that you pretty much like a lot of people, they pay into Social Security, they pay into these different things, disability and whatnot. Well, okay, you got certain people, like it's programs out there where a person might have a disability but can still work. And, I know one program is called vocational guidance. I don't even think that's open anymore, because again, they don't, a lot of people are going to be looked at as useless eaters. And if you can't contribute, or, especially individuals like us, that's pointing out the issue, like the beloved elder from Chicago said. He said, when you go back, and they, the average Edomite or Idumean wants to point at Jake or another nationality to say that's the problem of why why Babylon the Great is in the predicament that they're in, when in actuality it's individuals like that guy Stephen Miller, as well as DJ Trump and his administration, has passed these different laws. Again, nobody, pretty much at the end of the day, they acted without Congress to go actually invade Iran. So now that we in this situation with, as far as the Strait of Hormuz being closed to Babylon the Great or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, who did that? What he said, Edomites with lie IQs, roughly paraphrase. Let's see how many I can get out. I got, I got that one. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 2. And it reads, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the people bear rule, the people mourn. Salakia. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And you got everybody, I mean, I'm talking about all nationalities, from Israel to the heathens, that's mourning right now. You know, I mean, like I say again, it really pisses you off, you know, how, you know, you got everybody, like I say, I see it for what it is, you know. Like everybody's trying to figure out a shortcut to feed themselves and get over it. You know, I got this company that's coming up with these hidden fees. I asked them, what's this fee? I talked to 4 different people. Everybody said a different fee. So I got a trick for you, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go talk to Esau, you know, let the laws get involved with it. And normally I would, you know, but like certain people say, sometimes you got to learn to use wisdom, use their system against them. You know what I mean? That's very foolish, like I say, to pretty much be in a situation where you up there and you, you know, again, just like this devil will use his law system against you, you should be able to use the same system against them. You know, the difference is, like with the Matrix, they knew how to bend and break the rules. That's why I don't trust police officers and certain individuals, you know, lawyers and judges, because they know the rules and they know how to bend and break them as well. So I'm going to end this with the book of Ecclesiastes, because at the end of the day, it may look like the devil has the upper hand. You know, it looks like he's, you know, benefiting, profiting, and having his way, but in actuality, you know, the Lord is going to have even with this system, you know, they got to create this wicked ass system, you know, this beast system, but at the end of the day, the Lord going to judge them for even, you know, trying to bring this thing to fruition. This is the I'm going to start at Ecclesiastes 8 and verse 11. It reads, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Esau, Edom doesn't believe that they're going to be judged for, you know, their wickedness. Verse 12, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High, which fear before him. Verse 13, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High. So yeah, this devil's going to get a huge awakening, you know, a huge judgment is upon or on the way to come upon Esau, Edom. So I'm going to end it there for the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian employer. You come back to the laws, statutes, commandments of your power. The true name in the paper was Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed with that. I give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elders, to the apostles that I learned the truth from. Peace and salutation to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as the freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and Aqua out there listening and learning, Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. The USA Shalom. Till next time, Lord, willingly, Shalom, Shalom, Kwabia Sharala, and Mawat Lababal.